Hey everyone, have you ever stopped and wondered what this whole universe is really made of? And I don't just mean atoms or quarks. I'm talking about the fundamental principles, the very code that creates everything from a distant star all the way down to your own thoughts. Well, today, we're diving into an ancient text to find a pretty mind-blowing answer to that exact question. And it all starts with this one epic question. You have the great Brahma King looking out at, well, everything, all the complexity of life, the good, the bad, the enlightened, the totally confused. And he basically asks, how does this all work? What's the fundamental operating system that makes reality reality? So here's our game plan. We're going to follow the Buddha's answer step by step. We'll start with that big question, then we'll unpack the 7 core building blocks of everything. We'll see how they build our physical and mental worlds, explore how those same blocks can create 2 totally different realities, and then we'll bring it all right back home to you. Okay, so let's really sit with Brahma's question for a second. He's not just asking about physics, right? He's asking about the very fabric of being itself. He wants to know the source code that generates not just planets and stars, but also consciousness, our sense of right and wrong, and even our spiritual potential. It's a question about the absolute foundation of, well, all of it. And the Buddha's answer, it's just so elegant. He lays out this incredible framework of 7 interconnected Dharma realms that explain existence. For this explainer, we're going to zero in on one of the most fundamental sets, the 7 greats. Think of these as the absolute, non-negotiable elements that make up everything we could ever possibly experience. All right, let's dive right in. These 7 greats, they're the cornerstones of reality in this view. And they're not just a random list of things. They are 7 fundamental principles that are everywhere, all the time, from the biggest cosmic scale you can imagine, right down to the tiniest little functions happening in your own body. And here they are. You've got earth, water, fire, wind, and space. Those are the physical principles. And then you have consciousness and faculty, which account for our inner world, our awareness. That word, greatness, is super important. It means that each one is a fundamental, all-pervading realm that defines some aspect of existence. It's the stuff we're made of and the very feeling of being alive. So first, let's tackle the 5 physical elements. And I want you to think of these not as abstract forces out there, but as living principles inside of you, right now. They make up the tangible world, sure, but they also make up the very body you're experiencing it with. So earth greatness, that's the principle of solidity. In your body, it's your bones, your flesh, the stuff that gives you solid form. But psychologically, it's that feeling of being grounded, stable. Or if we cling to it too much, it becomes stubbornness, feeling stuck. And water greatness is about moisture, cohesion. It's your blood, all the fluids holding you together. It represents our ability to adapt, to flow. But it can also be that feeling of being totally overwhelmed by emotion. Then we have fire greatness. That's your body's warmth, your metabolism. It's the raw energy of life itself. It's the fire of passion, of creativity. But that same fire can become the destructive fire of anger and rage. And wind greatness, that's all about movement. It's your breath, the beating of your heart, the nerve impulses that let you move. It's that drive to get things done, but it can also be that restless, anxious energy of a mind that just will not stop spinning. Now, space greatness. It might sound like nothing, but it is absolutely essential. It's the principle of non-obstruction, of openness. In our bodies, it's literally the space between our organs that lets blood and energy flow. Without it, everything else would just be a solid, useless lump. And mentally, it's that open awareness that allows for new ideas and insights. Without it, our minds just become cluttered and closed off. Okay, so we've got the 5 physical building blocks. But here's where this whole framework takes a fascinating leap. It connects that outer world of elements directly to our inner world of awareness. Let's see how. Okay, check this out, because it's pretty wild. This suggests that our very ability to perceive the world is a direct function of these elements. Our senses aren't separate from the world, they're literally born from it. The movement of wind is linked to our ability to see. The fluidity of water is tied to our hearing. And fire, as the core animating energy, governs both taste and the big one, the mind itself. So if consciousness is the experience of seeing or hearing, the software, then what's faculty greatness? It's the hardware. It's the physical organ itself, the eyeball, the eardrum, the nose. It's the root or the tool that allows a specific consciousness to even happen. See, you need both. You need the organ and the awareness. The quality of our reality really depends on the tools we have, and, maybe more importantly, how we choose to use them. And this brings us to the most crucial point of this entire teaching. We've established that these 7 elements build our entire reality, inside and out. And we've seen how each one has this kind of dual potential. Well, the text makes a stunning claim. These exact same 7 building blocks create 2 completely different worlds. And it all depends on our state of mind. This slide illustrates that radical idea perfectly. When you perceive the 7 greats through a mind of delusion, a mind that's always grasping for things or pushing them away, they construct our ordinary world with all its ups and downs. The fire becomes anger, the earth becomes stubborn attachment. But when you perceive those same exact elements through an awakened mind, that same fire becomes the warmth of wisdom, that same earth becomes unshakable stability. The raw materials are identical. The only thing that changes is your perception. So what's the big takeaway from this cosmic blueprint? What does it all mean? It means this grand map of the universe isn't really about something out there. It is, and it always has been, a map of you. The solidity in your bones, the warmth in your body, the passion you feel, the very thoughts you are having this very second, it's all a manifestation of these 7 greats. This isn't some abstract philosophy. It's an intensely personal description of what it means to be a conscious human being. You are quite literally a microcosm of the entire cosmos. You contain all of its potentials. And that really leaves us with one last powerful question to think about. Since these 7 elements are the building blocks of your reality, what kind of world are you building with them moment to moment? Is the fire inside you showing up as destructive anger or as illuminating warmth? Is your earth creating a prison of attachment or a foundation of stability? The choice, as this text suggests, is yours, and you're making it right now.